Let me be completely honest. I didn't buy one of those life-sized Gardevoir Love dolls. I bought two of those life-sized Gardevoir Love dolls. Also, the release of Journey Together last month went over fairly well. Aside from a couple of issues like Noivern's ability being broken, it was one of the smoothest new set launches in Live's 3-year history. But then the dev decided to release a patch this month addressing like two things, and in true Pokemon TCG Live fashion, everything broke. After taking longer than the planned 8 hours of downtime to release the update, PTCGL finally came back online and players immediately experienced massive issues. The dev posted soon after that there were indeed ongoing issues with latency, code redemptions, and matchmaking. So basically, the entire game was screwed up. This prompted the dev to take the game offline again, this time for emergency maintenance. It came back after about 4 hours, only to go back offline again for even more emergency maintenance because, as I've been saying for years, PTCGL is a well-made game. And let's not forget that Live had 8 hours of downtime 2 weeks ago, plus its regular weekly Tuesday maintenance where the game stays online but things will still randomly break. In a move rarer than the candy I used to lure youngsters into my precious trolley, the Pokemon Company International actually explained what was going on behind the scenes. Of course, this only made them look even worse, but like my dog attempting to hide the cushion he tore up without cleaning up the feathers, at least they tried. First up, because of the issues, they've extended the March ranked ladder for a couple of days, meaning it will now end on Saturday. If you're wondering how the March ladder is still going on when April is almost over, well, it's PTCGL. Second, the Gym Leader Challenge Trainer Trial, which players were super excited about, has been delayed by 2 weeks. So instead of starting today, it will now begin on May 8th because they enjoy giving us hope, then snatching it away. The Silver Series Trainer Trial will take its place, where you can only build decks using commons, uncommons, and rares. Essentially, it's a non-EX format. So why did all of this crap happen? Well, it's because of yesterday's milestone update that was part of their commitment to continually improve and expand the game. There wasn't a whole lot in this milestone update though. It was just prep for GLC, an improvement to the new player experience, slightly balancing the ranked ladder, and fixing a couple of bugs like match timers and friend battles not being turned off even if the option is selected. All in all, pretty minor when compared to the updates that bring us nearly 200 new cards. They dove deeper into why all of this happened, and it's not something that breeds confidence like it's a ditto. The dev started by saying Live went offline as per usual ahead of the update so they could safely apply these changes. Obviously, that didn't happen. That's because, and I quote, "These problems weren't seen in any of our prior QA verification passes, and we've been actively working on solutions behind the scenes. While we've tried a few fixes, none have brought the stability we need, especially with the Gym Leader Challenge on the horizon, which we know will draw lots of activity. We want this beloved format to shine, and right now we can't guarantee the high-quality experience it deserves." They added that they're continuing to investigate and don't have an exact timeline to fix the issues, but there's a lot of exciting things planned for May. Currently, at the time of posting this video, Live is back online, but I mean, that could change at any point. And in true PTCGL fashion, they only teased their plans instead of laying out a real roadmap. Finally, and this is not a joke, but after more than 3 years, the Pokemon TCG Live devs said they'll start being more transparent with us. They said, "We know how much this community cares about the game, and we care just as much about being transparent with you. Today marks a step forward in keeping you more in the loop, and we're committed to improving that communication moving forward." I've literally been begging the dev to be more open and honest with us about TCG Live since February 2022. But now, after completely breaking the game with a new update for the umpteenth time, with issues they couldn't find during quality assurance, they're finally going to start doing that? Quite frankly, it's embarrassing. Which is a good word to describe Live. I know it sounds like I'm being harsh, which I am, but I've made more than 30 of these rant videos and it's always the same thing. Anything they try to do to improve the game results in 1 step forward, 10 step backs, like you're trying to walk up a slide with freshly lotioned feet. The worst part is they give us these little glamours of hope. Like PTCGL didn't break for at least a month leading up to this. Yeah, it did break in February when they introduced Click to Place, causing massive issues with energy moving cards like Archaludon, Magneton, and Heavy Baton. But once those were addressed, we almost had a game that worked. It was glorious. Because this past day has been such a flustercluck, one of my smartest Discord users began posting a few interesting tidbits after digging around in PTCGL's backend. I'll keep their identity a secret to add an air of mystery to them, but you could just, go into the Discord and find out the info for yourself. Basically, they looked at PTCGL's code and said it was very dirty and low level. Additionally, their original debug system cannot determine C++ native code error messages, so they cannot find the selection bug, which happens sometimes where you can't select a card when using something like Nestball or Buddy Buddy Poffin. The Discord user added that the PDCGL dev doesn't know how to write code efficiently. I personally don't know anything about game development other than the complaining portion, but apparently TCG Live uses a JSON reader to write card functions, which is complicated and difficult to debug. The user gave an example that Belelba and Bryson Man has 463 lines of text, while something like Nestball has 92 lines of text. If that still seems like a lot, it's because Nestball's hidden conditions need to be coded in, such as only being able to be used in hand, only when you have a bench spot open, and more. Compared to Pokemon TCG Online, the, functional game that TCG Live replaced, the Discord user says PDCGO was also made with Unity, but PDCGO's code was great. And the reason they couldn't just take PDCGO's code and use it for Live is because 90% of it is shared with Eternal, one of Direwolf's other card games. Ultimately, if you didn't understand most of that, it basically means that TCG Live's backend is a mess, and even a high-powered Squirtle bidet wouldn't be able to clean it up. Even with the 2-week delay, GLC on PDCGL will not be true GLC. In real life, Andrew Mahone's format allows for cards from the black and white and X and Y era. Despite promising full expanded 3.5 years ago, PDCGL still doesn't have it. So we get a neutered GLC only featuring cards from Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, and Scarlet and Violet. I also think it's funny how in their explanation post they completely forgot to mention X and Y, only highlighting black and white as not being playable. It also makes their previous statement about wanting to make GLC a high-quality experience even funnier, because high quality would mean it's actually the GLC format you can play in real life, not whatever PDCGL has to cobble together because it doesn't have all the cards coded in. On the plus side, they have stated that GLC will be a format that returns periodically in the future, and it appears as though they'll stick to the official rules, as both Twin Energy and Double Colorless Energy will be banned. Diving back into PDCGL, instead of giving us a timeline for Expanded, what the dev has done is remove the word beta from the format. Up until yesterday, the word beta appeared alongside Expanded in the casual section. Now that's gone. So this is just more terrible news for people who've been waiting for Expanded to fully arrive in PDCGL. In conclusion, and I could apply this to any video I've made over the past 3 years, PDCGL is not a well-made game. Doing even the most basic changes can cause it to completely break, and because of how the game is built, the dev doesn't really know why it breaks. I masterfully debated whether or not I should even post this video because it just makes me sad. I want Pokemon TCG Live to be so much better than it is, but until it's at least on the same level as PDCGO, I won't give it the benefit of the doubt. So I guess we'll just have to GLC if that day ever comes.